still money out the bank. We down bad, y'all. We down bad. We got to do what we can do. Oh. They done got us. They done got us. This time, y'all woke me up.
I'm having too much fun over here, guys. Watching these new TikTok videos sprout up each and every day, having decades of people with unchecked, entitled behavior on top of having platforms such as TikTok where people can just put up a phone and let you know how they feel in the current situation has been one of the greatest gifts of the internet since the internet was the internet. Title of today's video, women having complete meltdowns in regards to having to pay back their loans. They receive student loan reprievement post-COVID era. Now they're expected to pay back their debts to society, although they have an expectation that the common, average, ordinary taxpayer should be paying for their decisions. I can't wait to get into this one, so without further ado.
Trump administration announced the Education Department will start collection next month on student loans that are in default. That's roughly, we're talking about 5.3 million borrowers that are in default. What do people need to know?
Okay, if you work for the federal government, then your wages could be garnished if you're in default. If you get a tax refund, that tax refund may be actually garnished by the federal government. And if you are getting a notice that says you are in default, there will be 30 days and the government could actually garnish your wages. To be clear, this is something that people who owe money need to pay attention to. Also, all of the people in default, we are now seeing reporting to credit agencies. We haven't seen that before. Wow. So we now know that credit scores are dropping for these borrowers by somewhere around 130 points.
Hey, if you owe student loans, listen up, because the Trump administration just announced it will restart collections on defaulted federal student loans beginning May 5th, ending a pandemic-era pause that halted such action since March 2020. The Treasury Offset Program, which recovers debts by garnishing federal payments like tax refunds, Social Security benefits, and eventually wages, will oversee this entire process. Now, people will receive a 30-day notice before wage garnishment start later this summer. This announcement comes as millions of people are struggling with repayment. By the end of 2024, 5.6 million people were in default, which is essentially missing payments for over 270 days, while only 40% of all people were current on their loans. Another 35% were at least 60 days delinquent, and 4 million were 91 to 180 days behind. Defaulted people risk losing access to federal aid and facing severe financial consequences. The Department of Education urged people to act quickly, offering options like income-driven repayment. But this comes at a time when millions of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Wages are stagnant and the cost of everything keeps increasing. This also comes at a time where things at the student loan department are chaotic. We already know this. People are reporting website outages, long phone wait times, and the income-driven repayment options just became available again. All I can say is that make sure you're documenting all attempts to contact the Department of Education, keep your loan payment receipts, and continue to fight for a world where education is free.
Y'all, they about to garnish our wages. They really know how to just ruin your day. The U.S. government hates everybody here. Y'all, as of May 5th, they're taking 15% of your wages towards student loans. Y'all, I've been ignoring student loans since I've been in school. If y'all know how much I owe in student loan, y'all would think I went to school to be a lawyer. And it's a degree that wasn't even providing me a decent lifestyle. I was just living off vibes. So you mean to tell me I went to school and y'all lied to me? Y'all wanted me to go out there and do triple the work to get a degree. Y'all, I owe so much money. I'm in Texas, so we don't have state tax. 15%. Hell, you might as well go ahead and add 5 more. Add 10. Cause that's the state tax. I cannot believe this. I just had to pull over, y'all. My head started throbbing. I'm about to get a headache. They're doing this in a couple of weeks, y'all. I gotta go do deferment. I gotta go do something. Y'all, we can't get away from this. People are even already saying that their credit score has dropped from a 700-something to a 500-something. Oh my gosh, my credit score. 15%, whether you have it or not, as of May 5th. So long as you have money in your bank account, they are taking it. In fact, financial aid just called me the other day and I hung up on them. Not in the mood. Don't have it. I'm living off life. I'm vibing.
Oh, okay.
This man really said, you know what? Let's make the rich richer.
Wow.
Let's
Here
make
we go.
the others poor.
Kevin Samuels told y'all that winter was coming, but y'all chose to not believe him. Nevertheless, let me give you the TLDR, the too long didn't read. Awesome. Pay up. Now it's your turn to pay back exactly what you owed for the decisions that you made. Nobody lied to you. You've been living off of vibes too long. You made an adult decision to take out an adult loan when you were an adult, and now you're living off of vibes, expecting that you'll never have to pay back your debt. The more that I watch videos like this, the more that you begin to understand how these people have not figured out how to pay back their loans. More often than not, they live above their means in order to achieve the vibes. Meanwhile, not practicing having an emergency fund, not practicing saving their money. They have no concept of inflation, so they don't take advantage of money market accounts or high yield savings accounts. And in fact, I don't even think that they're even there or that advanced. They just have no concept of you're receiving a loan from the government for education. Education where the people or the institution have spent a lot of money in creating that campus and employing those teachers, those educators, creating the courses, creating the curriculum. And because you couldn't afford it all, you had to get a loan. But loans have to be paid back. Now, you could have gone to a community college for 2 years, then to an expensive institution after that, thus cutting how much that you owe in half. But see, that would be an intelligent decision. But for some reason, you think that the world owes you something simply for existing. And now, although you had a degree in pottery or knitting or some shit, you're complaining about your job options or how much income that you're receiving because you want to continue to live off of vibes. Your body, your choice. Your loans, your choice as well. She actually had a follow-up video to this.
So I called the student loans people yesterday, and I was like, ma'am, because I put me on deferment right now. I don't want no forbearance. No, because forbearance, if you didn't know, your interest continues to grow even though it's paused. No, deferment. Thank you. And the lady said, as of right now, your monthly payments are $1,554. I said, excuse me? No habla inglés. Huh? So then I said, this is a recorded line, right? She said, yes, ma'am, it is. I said, give me a second. Shh. I said, anybody who's on the other end, listen to me. I don't have it. That is rent. $1,554. I said, damn, they greedy, huh? They couldn't just make that 54 cents? Like, dollars? I said, that is rent. I don't have it. I don't have it. I will not have it. The lady said, yeah, this takes a couple of weeks. We already seen your application. It'll be applied. Okay. Thank you. 36 months? Thank you. I'll apply again in 3 years. Thank you.
While $1,500 is a lot, you know what the best form of deferment would have been? Getting a STEM degree and doing well in your classes so you can have a high income earning skill, going to community college, or just not going to a 4-year main top university college at all. One thing you must know is that our education system within the US, while it can be a good way to have additional skills that you build up, it also can be viewed as a damn scam because of how expensive that it is to get involved in the system. Now, I understand some of the arguments here because it's like, well, at 18 years old, how am I supposed to know this? If nobody taught you that eventually you're going to have to pay this back, you are not a child anymore. You are an adult. It's not their fault. It's your fault for signing your name on the dotted line. And I'm sorry to say, the thing is that college is no longer a requirement like it used to be. Shit, people are taking the classes up on YouTube University and are figuring out how to make money online, taking money from institutions, taking money from mainstream media, taking money from college education courses and creating their own course on something that they mastered. But I get it, $1,500 is a lot, but continue to ignore it. It's only gonna get worse.
You f***ers that keep saying, why should my tax dollars pay for other people's student loans?
Oh, here we go again.
One, go fuck yourself. If your tax dollars did pay for student loans, it's because you're investing in society as a whole. A rising tide lifts all boats. The smarter that people are, the better off all of us are. But second, your tax dollars aren't paying for student loans. Our country makes billions of dollars from the interest of these student loans. Our country profits from student loans. So your tax dollars aren't paying for people's student loan interest forgiveness. If anything, sorry, but the country is not making a profit off the backs of people that needed to take out student loans to better themselves in life. I'm so sick of Republican viewpoint of, I don't want my tax dollars to pay for blah, blah, blah. What do you want tax dollars to pay for? You live in a society that offers you services. The government is not a business, it's a service. You literally take advantage of things all day that tax dollars pay for. All day. And if you didn't have these services that you pay taxes to pay for, then it would be private companies offering all of these services and you'd be paying a ton more money.
May 5th, Trump is going to start going after everyone who has any type of federal student loan. And I honestly want some input on this. How are people feeling? He's going to start garnishing your wages. If you haven't paid in the last 5 years, there's also 5 million people that have an open federal student loan. So to the 5 million of you, what are you guys gonna do when he starts coming for your paychecks? How are you guys going to survive? Because this economy is already crazy and now he's gonna start taking money out of 5 million people's paychecks. I'll let y'all discuss in the comments.
Not they said that if we don't pay our student loans back, they're gonna start garnishing wages. What? You want the little $50? I tried to pay y'all $50 and put me on a payment plan, and y'all didn't want to take that. Y'all talking about 400 payments. In this economy? Girl, if you don't take that ass $50 and go about your motherfucking business.
Can't garnish this cash. They're going to have to come get it back in blood. Take your money out the bank. Take your money out the bank. When you go to work tomorrow, turn off direct deposit. Opt for a paper check. And you better take it to Food Line every 2 weeks. Take your check to Food Line every 2 weeks and pay the 2% check cashing fee. We down bad. We down bad, y'all. We down bad. We got to do what we can do. Oh, my God. Oh, they done got us. They done got us. This time, y'all woke me up. Everything else was a joke, but this here, you got me this time.
Shut up and pay.
A college institution will take advantage of you if you do not utilize the tool of college and a degree correctly. You paying $45,000 a year for your gender studies degree and complaining 5 to 6 years later because you wanted to live off of vibes currently. It's absolutely outrageous to me and it's unforgivable. Looks like you gonna have to stop living off the vibes and go get a second job.
They just said that 92% of the people that went to college and racked up all this student loan debt don't and won't have jobs in the degrees that they got the debt in. So why y'all asking us to pay this money back? If you know that, why are we being asked to pay? And then this is the thing that gets me. Before I could even lift my right foot out of the door frame of graduation, my university was already contacting me for a donation. It's because of y'all that I'm a bam flipping donation to the Department of Education.
Donations. 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 Gifts. Gifts. Gifts.
What she brings up is absolutely true. Most people are not currently working in the degree that they pursued. So that should tell you something. But just because there is a switch there or you figured out that bullshit degrees get bullshit results, is that incumbent on the state to take care of that? Or is that incumbent on you to take care of that? Well, the government agrees that it's incumbent on you.
That is a fact.
And for most people, college may not be right. But you know where the statistics, the percentage is a lot higher? In trade schools, which cost significantly less than any 4-year degree college institution. I think that the government should incentivize people to pick certain degrees dependent upon the needs of the society, right? Give no deductions if someone wants to get a clothier degree and give more incentives or more deductions if someone wants to get a STEM degree. But until they step in, the banks are making these bad loans and the colleges are making these bad faith degrees that make you feel good because you're doing something, but you won't get no damn job afterwards. But for the people who signed up for it, they need to seek accountability. Let them fail if that's what it comes down to.
And now they want to garnish our wages. What did you go to school for? Did you graduate with your degree? And are you actively using your degree to make tons of money like they promised you?
Depends on the degree.
Was it worth going to college? Was it worth racking up all this student loan debt? And even if you did go to college, finish your degree, you walked across the stage and you got your pretty degree, have you finished paying back your student loans?
No.
Will you pay back your student loans?
Gotcha.
Honestly, it is frustrating to me to see how many people in this country still act like they shouldn't be held responsible for what they have done. We all knew what we were getting into when we signed on that dotted line. So we need to take accountability for that. It's not like they didn't make it clear on what it is that we were agreeing to. But for most people, college is not right for them. So it's incumbent on them when they're 16, 17 years old to take a look at all the options out there and work hard on finding purpose and making the right decision within that purpose. And if it's not for getting a degree that's directly what you want to do, it is somewhat broad enough so you can explore other options within that time to get closer to the end goal. Following your passion. It's not about that, especially when you early out in your 20s. It's about what's going to make me a consistent salary or involved in a career path that I can build or grow in or flip each and every step to make more money so that I can pay back my debts that I owe. But I agree, college is expensive as shit, no doubt about it. But expecting others to just bail you out because now you are struggling to pay it, that's a whole different level of entitlement, and that has to be addressed.
The reason why you have to pay your student loan debt is because you took out a loan that was optional. The key word is optional. I paid mine off.
So let me get this straight. They made you go to college and then they made you take out a loan when you were 18 and didn't know what you were doing. So the amount of nonsense that I'm hearing on this app around the student loan repayment is crazy. And all it boils down to is lack of accountability. My daughter went to college. She went to Clark Atlanta. We didn't qualify for financial aid. And she would call me and say, Mom, my friends are getting credit cards and they're taking out loans. And I told her, because she was only 18, and you know when you're 18, you don't know anything. That's what you guys are trying to say. And I told her, as her parent, don't you dare take a credit card and don't you dare take out a loan. And let me tell you why. And we had a whole little conversation about loan repayment and FICO scores. So I don't want to hear that when you were 18, someone forced you to go to college and then made you take out a loan, because a lot of y'all are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, not from a 4-year college stint. It's because you went back to college as an adult when you had, when you knew what you were doing, because apparently when you were 18, no one told you what a loan was, even though you signed for it. Stop. Take accountability. No one cares that you have bills to pay and all these things. If you had a mortgage right now, you couldn't say, I'm not paying it. And then I heard people saying, well, a mortgage and an auto loan is not the same. I do agree that those student loans were predatory, 100%. They were at the campuses throwing Amex cards at these kids. But that doesn't give you an excuse for not paying your bills and not paying your loan back. Loans are not free money. Who did you think was going to pay it in the event you couldn't? I don't understand why there's so much discourse around these loan repayments. You took out the loan and you have to pay it back.
They can't garnish your wages if you're a student. A student who is taking at least 6 credit hours. A student who is taking 6 credit hours in a degree-seeking or certificate-seeking program, preferably at a local community college where the tuition is going to be a lot cheaper than that student loan bill you're going to get. And if you never finish school and you want to return back, they have scholarships for that now. A lot of them. If you've been thinking, I should go back to school, I'm not even using this degree anyway, I don't even see why it's necessary, I can guarantee you that one semester of tuition that's under $700 or $800 at most is going to be cheaper than 6 months of bills. And then you just take your time with it. You take your time getting your degree. Don't worry about how much time it's going to take. Don't worry, sweetheart, that time going to pass anyway. Okay, the time's already passed. All right, the bills is due now. Okay, if it was me, I would go back I take some classes. I get them off my back. I would make sure it was something that I wanted to do. I wouldn't take out no loans, and I would just get through it that way. People have been doing this for years. I hope I just put you on game.
So community colleges have the chance to do the funniest thing ever. Start offering 6-unit, 1 day a week, like Saturday classes for like the arts, like a stained glass or like a glass molding, like some sort of artistic thing. Because if you have 6 units a semester, then you can defer your student loans. So like imagine just a whole generation of people who take like a Saturday art class every single Saturday for the rest of their lives and then never pay back their student loans. All of a sudden you have a generation full of people who can do creative endeavors and never had to pay back their student loans. And because it's community college, it's like $1,200 for the entire year to not pay back your student loans. Like for some people, that's 1 month worth of payment, and you could just keep on educating yourself. I think we should exploit that loophole. I think they want to force us to not go to college, to become less educated, to become their worker bees. Why not exploit the loophole to become the most educated generation of all time that never has to pay back debt?
And short of all of the little workarounds that you guys are saying, oh, I'm just going to have my job pay me in a check and not direct deposit. Figure it all out, because all I'm saying is when you're looking around for workarounds to not pay your debt, that's speaking to your character. And I'm sure you guys don't care. But the lack of accountability that I talk about on this app is wild. And there is one group of people that are the ones making excuses. I didn't know what I was doing. I was only 18. They tell us that we have to go to college. Who's they? I don't understand. You were 18 and you didn't have a parent that you could ask for, like, hey, mom, hey, dad. So you were just away in college, just taking money and thinking that it was free. Pay back your debt. Learn a lesson, and maybe teach your kids not to sign contracts that require you to pay back something. No one's coming to your rescue. The excuses, and especially from now, you're adults now, it sounds pretty lame that you're screaming on TikTok about having to pay back a loan you agreed to pay back. Again, loans are not free money. The fact that you were 18 and you didn't know what you were doing is lame, because you had parents. I would imagine there was some adult in your life that you could have asked for counsel around what a loan is. And then y'all went out and took out another one because a whole group of women, my color, want to take out MBAs. They want to talk about how they have an MBA. So you took out another loan. So you got loans and you got degrees in marketing. Were you going to work in marketing? You have like degrees in criminal justice. That was the hot one back in the day. Do you work in criminal justice? So now, because you don't work in the field that you got a degree in, not only are you mad because you don't work in that field, because you only picked that field because that was the hot trending thing. Now you're mad because you got to pay the money back. My daughter wanted to be a forensic scientist because of the whole OJ thing and the glove don't fit. She was fascinated by it. And she's like, Mom, I'm going to go to college and be a forensic scientist. I'm like, okay, you go get me the newspaper on Sunday, because that's where the help wanted section was. And you show me all the jobs that are forensic scientists. She got the paper, not one single job. I'm like, pick a different major. Pick a major that you can use in any environment. She took a major in communications. And she's now in real estate, senior level of a survey company, and she uses her communications. So yeah, you were 18. Nobody cares. You're not 18 now. Be responsible and don't teach your children to think that loans are free money. Be an example for once and for all.
Taking responsibility isn't just about paying it off. It's about owning the decision that you made. We all chose to borrow that money, and we knew it was going to come with some type of consequences. There's people out there that are facing real hardships, but there's other people out there that chose shit degrees and are working 40 hours per week doing bullshit while utilizing the extra money in their bank account to have fun with. And now that they're asking for more, they're expecting yet another free ride. All right, guys. guys, to end all of this off, I wanted to tell you guys my experience in paying back loans. I went to Penn State University for 4 years. I was up at University Park from 03 to 07 for those 4 years, and I had loans. When I left, I had $25,000 in loans to repay back. I had my first job out of undergrad. I was making $46,000. If I find it, I will come up here and I'll show it to you guys. It was literally a letter. My dad made sure that he saved it because he was so proud of me. But I had a job and it was like, I think $46,000 flat that I was making per year. 40 hours per week, that's around $23 per hour. But I chose to live in a very low cost of living city, a city that I never want to go back to ever again in my life, Wilmington, Delaware. And I chose to live in that city. And I made different steps and or decisions to have a very extremely low cost of living within my rent, within my transportation costs and getting there. I was walking distance away from the place that I worked. And I had a strict budget. I knew every single dollar that was coming out of my account. And I was always checking my finances because the thought of having debt just made me want to vomit. It made me sick to my stomach. And within that, I was able to pay off that $25,000 debt in 2.5 years. And nobody helped me. I never asked for a handout. Shit, I would feel bad asking anybody for a handout because I took accountability for where I was at in life, how much income that I was bringing in, increasing my skill sets to get me promotions, to get me to a new role. And I was able to convert that into no debt at the age of like 24-ish, 25-ish years old. I wasn't living off of vibes at the time. I was living off of personal responsibility and accountability. And because of that, I got the results that I wanted. Nevertheless, guys, let me know. I know that this is going to be a split audience on this conversation. At least I think that it is. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment box down below. What is it that you think about this situation? Last but not least, we're talking about so much of this financial education and understanding. I have a men's self-development community where this is the discussions that we have. What choices are you making today that will lead to fantastic consequences in the future? If your goal is to become a millionaire, if your goal is to increase your money mindset so you don't feel like any of these people that's up here making these TikTok videos because they lack the information to understand how to do it correctly, then this is the perfect community for you. Make an investment into yourself because the ROI, the return on that investment, is going to leave you better off into the future. I guarantee it. Link down below. Click in, beam up, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by a high value man.